What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show that I created for those who seek for the top-notch quality when it comes to their personal grooming. My name is Mohammed Mir Ibrahim, aka Barber Mo. I run one of the top-notch quality brand in the men grooming industry here in Dubai. It's called Skills by Barber Mo. You can go check it out. I've decided on this episode to talk all about color related. For those who's interested to enjoy their hair and experiment much more hair tone and hairstyle, or for those who have some gray hair, they wanted to bring back their youthful look and they hesitated to start it, or they wanted to find some guideline to understand much better, or for the people who actually going through the process for little sometimes and they might be experiencing some stuff, they cannot address it and they can't find out its reasons why it's appearing, or maybe they wanted to get better result, and a lot more concerns might be covered on this episode. I will try my best, so stick around and let's get into the skills talk. Before we dive deep into the coloring process, let's build much better understanding on what's the cause of gray hair and how usually we develop our hair color. So basically, by the time we go older, we started to lose our melanin, and that melanin, it was generated as a pigment to create your hair tone or your hair color. So by the time we go older, our cells started to be died slowly, and then because of that, it stopped manufacturing and producing the hair pigments that it's reflecting as your hair color. So once we go through some stress level, or once we go older, all the time, these kind of process started to be a lot more slower than our hair growth. So that's when we started to experience gray hair. So now, by understanding on how we develop gray hair, let's talk about the coloring and its process. So basically, we have two products that we use together. One, a pigment tube, and then one activator or peroxide. So once we mix them together within certain timing, the activator will activate the pigments, and then that pigments will generate the desired tone. So basically, we open the hair cuticles gently, and then we insert the product before it started to be processed and activated, and then we leave the activator to activate the pigments until we reach the desired tone. And then once we decide that we are on the right timing and we already achieved the desired color we want, after that we seal the hair cuticles and we leave the pigments inside, and that's how you enjoy the finishing of whatever hair tone that we choose for you. For a man, it can last them sometimes like 2 to 3 weeks. It depends until the gray hair started to be showing one more time from the roots. Again, it depends if the person wanted to have toner or permanent or semi-permanent. So if you choose permanent, then definitely the color will never be shaded out if you're using the right process and the right product. But if you are using semi-permanent or unknown product, or your procedure is wrong, maybe it will not last you that long. So basically the longevity will be all, it depends on how much you know about the product or how much the person who's doing it, he know about it, and its quality background, which leads us for the next topic, which is the consultation and its importance. Why we have to do consultation and what is it all about. I personally always preferred and I advise the people to go and do their consultation because how much I have had studies and search about the coloring, and because how much I know about the chemical process and how much it can help, but also how much it can be harmful and what's its risk factors. As well as because I always see on my barber chair the people's expectation and how much they get disappointed. And when I have question with them, I understand it's just because like most of the other things that we do in our life, we just started randomly. So basically with those chemical process, please be worried about your health and be worried about your investment, and you can just cut that long story short by doing that consultation. So for those who started it just now to do their color or they're about to start, it's important to go and do the consultation for the following reason. Number one, you need to understand about your scalp condition and its health, and you need to discover if you might be sensitive for the ammonia, or you might be sensitive for any alternative chemicals that it's replacing the ammonia, or even the color tube. It's based on organic or natural pigments. You might be allergic to certain food or beans that it's made from. and that is going to make you experience some bad or severe allergy that you might need to avoid if you just do the consultation. Number two, you need to build much better understanding on what is your actual hair tone and how you can really achieve the best out of it by just having the right question to the right person. And also would be nice to know if you are using the commercial product that exists for the consumers on the market, how does it works and what's its toning and shading and timing and process. And if you are doing it with a stylist or you are aimed to do it with a stylist, then what is the difference between the professional product and the commercial product? So it's totally different concept. And for those who is doing it regularly and they might come to the points, oh, this consultation for me, do I really need to go and see expert? Yes, indeed, you have to go and see expert for a couple of reasons as well. It's because usually when you are doing your color repeatedly, you might be going through some wrong process and then you are developing slowly allergy. And that allergy at one day, it might just pop up and then you will get shocked from where I've got this, and then you will search all over your body and you will not realize that it's happening because of the hair color process that you've been doing repeatedly for a little sometimes wrong. So basically you need to go every sometimes and then see the expert for the expert to advise you, do a proper consultation, advise you about your scalp condition, and gives you much better understanding, as well as give you the guides. You might need to change the pigments and tone it up or tone it down little in order for you to enjoy much better result, or maybe reduce the timing, and so much extra information that you would be finding out in there. So yes, indeed, I will always advise you and stick with my philosophy by telling you, me personally, I will always tell you, go and do the consultation indeed and don't think twice. And right after that, let's get into an interesting question that I always receive, whether in my barber chair or for my team and the work, or sometimes on the media. So the question goes this way all the time. Can I do my hair color at home and just buy anything in the supermarket and then sort it out by myself? And my answer goes this way: yes and no. And why I always say that? Because first of all, you need to build a full understanding to what is the desired, say like a hair color that you want it. And also what is the condition. Are you using toner? Are you using permanent color or semi-permanent? What actually you want for your hair? As well as, do you have the ecosystem that it's ready and you are preventing the severe risk that you are putting yourself for, which is on your own personal health or the people around you? And also, are you in control for the entire process and how you can reach certain blind spots that usually you need an expert to see it? That's number one. And number two, I tell them, do you want it just like a certain application and then you will take all the risk for it, for maybe saving some money or saving some, or you thinking that you're saving sometimes? But actually, if you can value your time much more and then leave that for an expert, and then that expert has already prepared the entire environment to help you much better. And for him, he did the study about your scalp. If it's sensitive, if you have any dehydration, he might advise you some treatment right after so that he can prevent upcoming result that usually it's not going to tell you on the spot that I'm happening. So if you are willing to go and take all this procedure and have all the knowledge and information, then yes, indeed, go and do it at home. If not, make sure it's temporary, where you don't have time, or sometimes you go through some financial difficulties. That is, of course, important. But if not, if you really feel like you can afford it, you can really give yourself some extra experience, then I always say, go and turn it up to be joyful experience. You are in a social life environment. You can experience much better joy, and also you can have a lot better result and so much minimum damage that it's happening to your body as well as to your hair. So yes, indeed, you can do it if you are willing, and no, if you are really having no plan to stick with the procedure and advices or learn all about the process. So let's dive deep into the most common concerns that usually people have before they started to do their color or they are going through the process usually. So the most common concerns all the time is like, would the color really cover my entire gray hair? Like I went to my barber or to the professional and I thought this will be better. Then actually I was disappointed. I found some gray hair and that wasn't covered very well. Well, yes, indeed, the hair color was made, if we understand the process very well, the hair pigments that it was manufactured for the people to use, yes, can cover entirely all your gray hair, but actually the process sometimes can be the stylist can be using wrong procedure, or sometimes the timing or the temperature of the environment, or not having the proper test to understand your hair much better. But yes, indeed, you can achieve 100% coverage, and you can do it permanent until the new hair appear. Then you will not experience any grayish. But for man, as I always advise, you might be surprised because within 1 week you started to see the roots white little bit. That is something we cannot do anything about it, because actually that's the newborn hair. That's the extended growth that you have, and this is the parts that we did not manage to color. So possibly yes, but it should not be on the spot. It should not be next day, and it should last you minimum, if you have very short hair, minimum of 1 week. And the other common question is like where the people come to me and then says, "Oh man, no, I don't want to color my hair because I will start to experience much more gray hair to come. Or before I did it once, or my uncle did it and then now he's experiencing much more gray hair." And I always tell them, calm down yourself and let's understand much better about the color process. And then once you understand it, you find out that actually using the pigments, that the manufactured human made pigments does not affect your gray hair appearance. Actually, by understanding on the beginning of this episode on how we started to develop gray hair, then we understand that the pigments that human made, it was there to help you, but it wasn't there to cause you harm. Yes, indeed, you can do your coloring, and it will never increases the gray hair. And take this from somebody who stay on his chair day and night studying to understand every single concerns that you have inside of your head. And definitely I'm responsible about that. And one more concerns as well to cover on this episode, when people ask me this question, can I color my hair once again even though I just recently colored it? The answer is yes and no again. It's because if you are doing it on your own, I will highly recommend it no, because it can disappoint you big time, as well as it might harm your hair itself, your hair shaft or cuticles, and can harm your scalp. Maybe your scalp is not ready, maybe the hair itself it's already damaged. And also please note that when us as an experts doing for you color, if it's your first time, we have different product and procedure we use, and also treatment and shampoo to follow. And if we are doing it repeatedly, there is a certain timeline gap in between the two colors. We need to understand it because our decision will be accordingly. And then we have another type of product and procedure and steps to follow once we are doing it for those people who experience some disappointing result and they really wanted to change and get much better result. And that is happening for more often. For an example, like that is happening 2 days back or 3 days back. They went somewhere and somebody mistakenly colored their hair with different shade that they desired, and they disappointed with the result. Or they did it at home and then they were shocked about its outcome and they are rushing to change it because they can't do anything in their day as long as their hair look that way. So yes, indeed, you can do it as long as you are aware about what is happening with your hair. Or my advice personally, go and give it to the experts. Experts, they have way different factors to follow and parameters, as well as they have implemented a certain procedure that suits every case that they face and they experience together with their clients. So my advice personally, go and see experts and enjoy the outcome. And again, if you are disappointed with the first experts, make sure you go through the consultation with the next one, and then you find out if he give you this information, then definitely he's the right guy. Moving on to the last part on this episode, right after we develop much better understanding on when gray hair started to appear, what's its cause, how we treat it, how we take care of it, as well as what's the difference between doing it with professional or we do it at home by our own. So now the most important part, which is the majority they neglected, is the aftercare. Aftercare, it's very important because it's going to extend your investment and make it longer, a lot longer. It will help you to enjoy your hair much better, as well as it will prevent any future damage, and it will affect, by the way, the result and the timing for the long run as well as for the next session. So it's very important to understand this matter and be strict with it as well, for the mentioned points, as well as for knowing what are the steps that you really have to take, and only expertise can advise you that. So I can give you a quick tips and advice, but the rest you find it with your own stylist. Basically, a salty water, a chlorine water where you go to find it on the swimming pool or on the beach, or when you're showering, try to install a filter, especially if you're living here in Dubai. Concerning the hair product that you're using before and after, during your bath, when you're washing your hair, or for an example, the hair styling product that you're using, all those parameters and factors can really reflect into the outcome and can affect the next session, and much more advices that you will find it with your stylist. Always it depends on your hair and your scalp condition. He might advise you to go and do some extra treatment. Maybe you have to do nourishing treatment, maybe you have to do deep conditioning treatment, maybe you suffer of dehydration. So every one of us has different case from the others. And based that case, the experts will always have set of advice to give you in order for you to enjoy the present and extend the investment and turn it up to be experience, and also prevent future damage and make the next session much more joyful than the one just happened. And that's it for this episode. I know that the hair coloring, it's a lot deeper and it has so much information to thrash out on the table, but at the same time, we have certain timing that we have to stick with, and also it's not going to be the last episode. I will have much more to come later. Just keep watching and I will make sure I will make it valuable. And for those who really wants to have much more information, I will make sure that I will give you a majority of the study that I've made and I read all my life, for you to help yourself much better, for you to enjoy your hair much more and minimize the risk. And always remember my philosophy in life always, that we are here to be responsible entirely about our health, number one, and about the environment that we are living in. So make sure that you get these two in your mind, and I will see you next episode.